and welcome to another episode of Wine and Chisme. I'm with my girl Erika for our
Hola,
April
hola.
Chisme session.
Bam, 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 bam.
That's become a little part of every month end roundup. Uh,
We have to
oh,
psych ourselves up sometimes.
I know. Girl, I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I was having a sneezing attack this morning. I feel like I look exhausted, but I think it's just the allergies getting to me a little bit today.
Yep, 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 yep.
So, how has your month been?
It's been good. It's been good. I can't complain. Um, just like everybody, trying to keep my head above water. There's just so much going on um, externally that none of us have much control over. So,
I know. It's great. No, it really is crazy how much everything affects you, especially if you really, I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't necessarily pay attention to everything that's going on, but it's hard not
hmm
to,
hmm
right? It's hard to not
yeah,
pay attention to everything that's going on and to not let it affect you. And in California, we're, also in the middle of the governor's race as well. And that's
right.
added an added layer of all of the things. And obviously, over the weekends, things happened and
Well, yeah.
we'll go over all of that for where should we even start? We have so many things
Like,
happened.
let me reference my little cheat sheet here.
Yes, this is the only thing that we actually have a cheat sheet for. Actually, okay, before we go into that, what are you drinking today, Eric? Are you drinking anything today?
No, I'm not drinking because allergies have taken a hold of my life. They're holding me hostage right now. So I didn't want to have even one glass of wine um, with like allergy medicine, but I did have something in mind for today. I wanted to do a little brunch cocktail because we're doing something a little earlier in the day. So I wanted to do a nice little Prosecco with Chambord, which is what I would have done.
Ah, there you
So
go.
I'm gonna share that and put that out there. Had I been drinking today, it was kind of makes me sad because now I wish I had that in front of me.
Girl, what talking everything that's on our agenda today, I was like, no, got to. So I am having Para Wines Vino Blanco 2023. So
Ooh, what is that?
uh,
Ugh, let me close
let's
my eyes.
see.
Guide me through what that tastes like so that
Okay.
I can visualize
All
and
right.
pretend.
Let's see if my nose is working. I'm gonna do it how Jesus from Ortega Family Wines. Okay. It's definitely really green,
Wait, let me close my
like lemongrass and apple. And a little bit of citrus at the end.
Oh my God, I feel like I can taste it.
And
Oh,
that's what I smell. And then when I drink it, it's definitely very fresh, very, definitely very citrusy. It's really good, especially right now.
I'm crying on the inside and a little bit on the outside.
No, it's a really good. It's not too heavy. Really good on a nice warm day, although it's still only 10 a.m. here.
Well, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice and light. And you
It's
usually go for
nice and
red.
light and bright.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. My thing I've always said is it's not that I don't enjoy white wines. It has to be the right white wine, you know?
mhm.
Um, last night I was having a glass of wine. It was a little too sweet for me, so I was barely sipping on it, but I didn't want my friend to have a glass of wine by herself. I couldn't do that to her. So,
So kind, so kind,
so
so
kind.
thoughtful.
You know what? That's just what I do. Just what I do. Well, speaking of being thoughtful, Karol's team was not
Well,
thoughtful this last month at Coachella.
I feel like let me just do like a little side note on the on that topic. I feel like that's part of the anxiety that people feel right now too. It's just you don't know who's doing what, where, and then sometimes it's like after the fact and you find out these things and it's so heartbreaking and then it's like, well, what do you do? But continue. We'll
Yeah.
keep on.
Okay. So, for those who do not know, Karol G was one of the headliners at Coachella over the last couple of weekends. And at first, people were really excited. She was bringing, okay, there's a couple of layers to this. She was
Yeah.
bringing what they refer to themselves, this mariachi group, as the very first all women's mariachi group
Mm-hmm.
onto stage with her. However, couple of things. They are not the first all female mariachi group. And somebody had actually reached out to them and everything. And they're like, well, we're a show
Mm-hmm.
group. Like basically, they kept trying to add layers on about, well, we're the
Right,
first
right.
this, we're the first, but really they're not. So, but also the owners now, again, different layers, at least the female, it's a married couple. The
Mm-hmm.
wife is
Right,
a big time Trump supporter.
right.
And apparently, but then there's been like some of the man said he's an independent, the male
Mm-hmm.
owner, but apparently, like, it's just a lot of things. Now, I get that you can be part of this group and the not support this administration. However,
Right.
those are the things that we have to kind of come to terms with ourselves, right? Like, am I willing to be part of this
Mm-hmm.
group when the owners, or at least one of the owners, is very vocal about not even supporting our community? So
Right.
there's a lot of layers to this. However, what it comes down to is that Karol G had this group. I don't think she probably, I would imagine this is what happened. Obviously, unless we spoke to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know, but this is what I would imagine happened. I would imagine she said she wanted an all-female mariachi group. She's not the one
Right.
who's going to go research it and find out it's her team that's going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Her team is going to reach out and find somebody.
Right.
However, it is still the responsibility of her team to vet whoever is they are bringing on stage with her.
Right. Right.
And the fact that it wasn't done and there was this huge social media backlash into, and I'm not saying that Karol G knew what the backlash was, because I don't know if how often she personally is going. We have to remember, here's the thing, sometimes we have to remember that a lot of these celebrities aren't necessarily posting themselves on social media.
Right.
They
Well,
have teams to do it.
here's another thing also, just to keep in mind, like this is something that's planned out months, even like up to a year.
Yeah.
So maybe whatever, just plain devil's advocate, but maybe at the time that they were looking for this group, maybe there wasn't too much out to inform their decision. Maybe, who knows? I'm not sure. I'm just saying, right? And then once the contract is in place, how easy or difficult is it to break a contract? Like these are things also to keep in mind. Not that I'm defending one side or the other, but these are things to keep in mind. And like going back to your point about these things being layered, right? It's not so much just black and white and we're done.
Yeah. No, I agree. And then also, are you able to get like the logistics of it all, right? Because
Right,
there's only a week between performances. So
right,
are you able, like, were you are you even able to get another all-female mariachi group
right,
out there and to learn what needs to be learned that quickly and
right.
whatever? Like,
Logistically, probably not.
yeah.
It
So I
was a
think
matter of either continuing with them or breaking that contract.
yeah. So I think that it's one of those things where, yes, I get it. I totally understand where
Mhm.
people are coming from, because I felt the same way when I
Yeah.
was finding out all this information. I'm like, that's bullshit. Right.
Hmm.
But then also, as somebody who has dealt with events and put on events and
Yeah.
contracts and everything
Yeah.
like that. I think often people just see it from one particular side and they don't pull out to see what everything else encompassed, because there was a lot of people who were like, well, who cares if they were on a contract? She has enough money. You're right. She does have enough
Mm-hmm.
money to pay
Mm-hmm.
them. But
Right.
it's not just that.
Right.
Like
And
you
it's not just
said,
her. There are other people involved too.
yeah. But absolutely. But now that you are informed, right? And then there were people who were saying, oh, that means, see, she does support. She hasn't said anything, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't she come out with something saying that people were telling her not to say anything, but she needed to say something anyways?
I'm not too sure, but I think there was something along those lines.
Yeah. But let's
Uh,
keep it real, because then she brought Becky G out. Becky G is a real one.
right. Well, I mean, was that an intentional
I don't know. I mean, I
thing
would
that she did?
imagine
Because from what everyone online was saying, it was intentional, but I don't
of
know
what Becky G did
that
or
she
Karol G
said
bringing
Becky
Becky
G.
G.
I don't
Absolutely.
I don't know that she said that that was kind of her intention.
Oh, I don't doubt that it was, because Becky
Okay.
G is she is always speaking out for the community. She's always
Mm-hmm.
speaking out against this administration. She's not somebody who it tiptoes. She's very much about her community.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch the actual video, she's like, and to all those, and she points, she could have said, and to
Yeah, she
all those
points
in
to
the
the
back,
back
she
instead of the
points to the
back that way.
mariachis behind her, and to all those in the back, like that was very intentional. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, Viva Mexico. And I think so I think it was very intentional.
Okay.
You know, she had to come out with them, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if she's going to come out with them, she's going to stand 10 toes down on what she believes. So I think that was very intentional. I just recently, this morning, actually saw a video of that, of the wife. Now, I don't know what the wife's actual background is, but she was doing this this was several years ago, but still like
Mm-hmm.
this, I know so many, and this is how she was. I know so many Latinos who really identify with the Republican Party. We were identify with the Republican values and something. And then she's like, and you go, I mean, it was, I don't know what her background is. I don't know if she's just married into the last name and whatever,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, or if she's actually Latina, or she's just like a white woman trolling as a Latina. I didn't look into that. Now I'm gonna have to look into that. But it felt like she was just this true white woman trolling as a Latina. You know what I mean? Not to say that there's not
Mm-hmm.
white passing Latinas, right?
Right.
Hello, calling kettle black, right? But but there's very different of people who are still very much for their community and of that culture and grew up in that culture versus somebody who
Mm-hmm.
marries into that culture and then tries to assume that identity.
Right.
So there's just that whole thing is really interesting. And then immediately after, Karol G actually announced her global stadium tour, the para el Mundo
Yeah.
Tropitur.
Yeah.
Uh, and so I'm wondering, like, what do you think? Do we think that that's going to, I don't know if that's going to affect her ticket sales in the US or not.
I don't know. I feel like it won't. Um, I don't know. And it's not any kind of like factual, logical. It's just a feeling that I have. I
Yeah.
don't I don't think it's gonna really affect ticket sales the way other issues have affected other artists.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it's just gonna kind of be people will be paying a little more like closer attention to how she's moving
Mm-hmm.
and see kind of based on that. But I don't feel like that is gonna directly hurt her ticket sales.
No, I don't think. I mean, I don't. I haven't seen if she said anything recently on it or not. But I think that again, there's some people who are very much. not going to, right? Because of Coachella
Right.
specifically. There's going to be people who say, well, she's not a US citizen. And
Hmm.
like, there's going to be a lot of different dialogues in
Yeah.
regards to that,
Yeah.
you know? And whatever yours is, everybody has the right to feel
Hmm.
the way they feel in regards to what happened, whether you will continue to support her or not. I mean, the way ticket sales, how expensive tickets are these days, I'm
Oh
not
my God.
going anything anyways because
I can't afford it.
yeah, it's just crazy. It's so
Bottom
crazy
line,
how
I
much
cannot afford it.
I may want to go or I may not. Like, I mean, I'm just saying it to a concert in general, but girl,
Mhm.
tickets are, it's just crazy how much tickets are.
It's everything, not only concerts, but I feel like sporting events. I mean, look at everything that's going on with FIFA.
FIFA.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't,
oh my
girl, I don't
gosh.
even know. I don't even want to be like on this side of the bridge when this comes. I don't know what I'm gonna do because New Jersey
Well,
is gonna be a
didn't
mess.
Mom Dami just announce some tickets for New Yorkers?
I don't know, but that whole transportation to the stadium is it's gonna be a disaster over on this side. I mean, I'm
Well,
not super close to MetLife, but I'm in the vicinity of like northern Jersey where
yeah.
things are gonna get
You're
hectic.
very close to the New York border now. Like you're
Right.
very close.
Considering, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I stay with you when I'm in New York. I know how close
Yeah.
you
We
are
made the
and
drive. We
we've
made the
made
drive
the
across the
drive
bridge.
several times. Literally right over the bridge
Yep.
is Washington Heights.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Yep.
literally right over the bridge. So, okay, speaking of that, right? Of high ticket prices,
Hmm.
one of the things also, and this actually bleeds into that to the other thing is like Coachella prices are just I
Oh
saw
my God.
so many
It's insane.
I saw so many people our age now saying like showing pictures from 10 years ago, 15
Hmm.
years ago, 20 years ago.
Right.
And Coachella then versus Coachella now is so different.
It's so different. And I did a little deep dive um because I knew we were gonna talk about this. And it's something that we've talked about before, both on and off air, about number one, whether we've aged out of this kind of activity, right? So, maybe we're too old, maybe we're not the demo, who knows? And then just things being oversaturated, right? From an influencer and from a marketing perspective. Because
Yeah.
I do remember when Coachella started back, like, I think it was 99 or something, 99, 2000, something like that. Um, and I remember what music festivals were back then. Let's say 20 years ago. Let's just round it off and say 20 years ago, right? Um, and it's not like what it is now. It's not the same kind of spirit that it was before. The focus now is really on marketing, right? What kind of activations are brands doing out there? Um, all of the influencer outfits. Like you even forget about the music sometimes. Like you even forget about who's performing. And then sometimes you see these videos that are the crowd shots, and you see people kind of like just unenthusiastic and like on their
Because
phones, and it's like, what is going on?
no,
It's a
agree.
concert. What is wrong with you?
Because they're not there for the music anymore.
Right,
They're there,
right,
like you said, for the activations. They're there for like to be seen,
right.
right?
To
They're
be
there
there.
to have their Coachella moment, their fashion Coachella moment, and not there for the music. Like
Mhm.
Coachella used to be for music lovers,
Yeah,
right?
it was strictly like for music. There were a lot of underground artists or like just not overly mainstream kind of artists. And I don't know. It has
Yeah.
it has become a little more broad in the music genres because it started off very much just like rock.
Yeah.
So it has broadened,
And it was a
which
lot
is
of
nice.
EDM as well.
Right. And I wonder, I mean, obviously, there are people that are like music festival goers, but I wonder what the difference in Europe and in the United States in terms of like these music festivals. I know music festivals are huge in Europe too, but I wonder if it's
Yeah,
the
like well,
same
so I
kind
hear a
of
lot of people say
culture.
they'd rather go to Glastonbury now.
Right, right. That's kind of what I was thinking about Glastonbury, but I wonder if it's the same kind of, or if there's a little more of a balance. Because I don't necessarily think that the like the marketing and the social media is terrible because I mean that's where we are, right?
Yeah,
There's no getting around that. But the focus being not on the music is a problem.
absolutely. I mean, that's really what it should be at this point, right?
Mhm.
And it's definitely not.
Right.
There was one, I'm
But
trying to remember who it was because I think it was on Jimmy Fallon, one of
mhm,
the celebrities. I don't think it was Mark Ruffalo. It was somebody like kind of equivalent who said they took
mhm.
their daughter to Coachella.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, and now I had it and I accidentally clicked off it. Now I can't find it. And they were saying how it was terrible. They were like, they wanted to see this one particular, they were excited to see this one particular band. They saw it, and then
Right.
afterwards, there's nowhere to sit. There's no,
We've had this conversation too about
maybe it
sitting.
was
Like
like
I
Adam
can't be
Scott.
standing.
Yeah, they're like, there's nowhere to sit, there's nowhere to lie down. Maybe it was like Adam Scott or something like that. It was basically somebody like that. And
Right.
they were just saying how miserable they were. And then when they were ready to leave, they had took forever to find their daughter and her friend. And then
Hmm.
when they were ready to leave, they're like, we were sitting in the parking lot for like 4 hours just to leave. We weren't even
Oh my God.
moving. And the responses right after it were, I've never felt so seen in my life. Oh, this is the kind of, but because it's just changed so much, right? It's no
Yeah.
longer this
Yeah.
music. I mean, obviously, technically, yes, it's still a music
Right.
festival,
Right.
but it's obviously no longer about the music. It's about being seen and having
Right.
your Coachella fit. And then the prices are crazy
Yeah.
expensive. I
Well, see,
don't
like
understand.
that, then that's the thing too, right? For a long time, they were operating at a loss. So, but then it's like I guess finding ways to turn a profit, finding ways to be able to pay these artists because
Yeah,
the appearance fees are not like
cheap. They're not cheap.
here's a couple thou, like thanks for coming.
But I don't
Like,
even think they let
how
you
much
bring
is
in
it?
your own food and drinks, right? Like you can't even
I
bring
don't
in
think
and it's
so.
so expensive. Like I saw
I don't
somebody
think so.
buying a water and nachos or something like that. And it was like $30. Something
But
just
so
ridiculous.
how much was it that Justin Bieber got paid? Was it like 10 million or something like that?
I don't know. I didn't look up how much they got paid.
I don't know. It was like some ridiculous amount of money. And I think he's like he's been the highest paid artist at Coachella. But just imagine what it takes to put on this
Yeah, over
festival
10 million.
if
Yes. Okay.
one
So it
artist,
was, let
well,
me
just
tell
one
you,
artist
I
did
just
10
looked it
million.
up. Justin Bieber over 10 million. Sabrina Carpenter and Karol G were reported to make between 5 and 8 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then lower tier artists, so some of the smaller artists get about $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the of total over 150 plus artists were paid a combined 29 million with another 25 million spent on stage production.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. So you
And these are
$50 million
estimates.
just on the artist and production, right? And then there's still so many things that go into that. So it's like how much money do they have to make? So I
Yeah.
kind of see why all of these like activations and ads and like sponsorships have increased, but then now I don't know. It doesn't balance out.
Yeah.
And I think it's a problem. But then there's no turning back at
No. And it's
that.
only going to
There's
get
no
worse.
turning back.
Honestly, it's only going to get worse. It's either going to go bust or get
Right.
worse. And as
Right.
long as people are willing to pay those prices and as long as people are willing to go to be seen, it's just
Hmm.
going to continue. It's never going to stop.
Yeah. Yep.
And so the other,
Agreed.
yeah, the wine break. Time to refill that glass and come back for more wine and chisme. Ever wonder where you can find the wines I drink that are made by people who actually look like us? Mi gente, I got you covered because I created the first and most comprehensive director of Latine-owned wine brands based in the United States. And yes, it is exactly as good as it sounds. From California to Puerto Rico and everything in between, I mean, we are talking about over 100 Latine-owned wine brands, all in one place, ready for you to discover, sip, and support. This is the directory that I wish existed before I built it. So you never have to search far to find wines that represent our cultura, our gente, and our stories. So head over to the wineandchismepodcast.com to explore the full directory. The link is also in the show notes of every episode, so you have zero excuses. On that thread, speaking of like high prices and everything, tickets for the Olympics LA 2028 went on sale for those of us who pre-registered for it, but basically it was like a pool, right? Like you would get
Mm.
they started out with people that lived closest to like started out LA centric and then went out like that. So my parents live in Orange County, so they got access to the tickets before I did, but the tickets were crazy expensive. However, when they were coming out and I wasn't sure if we were going to get chosen in the lottery,
Right.
my mom's best friend got access and one of them was swimming and my second to youngest nephew for his graduation gift he wants to go to the Olympics, so I'm
Right.
like, all right, we'll do what we can. And I actually was able to get tickets for me and him to go because she had access and she
Hmm.
actually got some decent price tickets, so we got access. We're going to be at like 7 swimming events because I guess
Oh,
there's
wow.
it's like for a certain amount of time because swimming is so fast, right? Like
Hmm.
if it was, I think they give you access to a certain amount of events on a specific day because of that. So I got 2 tickets for $200, like $100 each. Okay,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. But when our turn came up, when I got my lottery was picked, I go on and the cheapest tickets were like $130 and they were for badminton or like
Hey, don't knock badminton.
yeah, like they were for things that we wouldn't ever want. And then it said like women's hockey and I'm like women's hockey, but it was at the pool because at first I thought, well, maybe it's field hockey, right? Because
Uh-huh.
obviously hockey is during the Winter
Right.
Olympics.
So
But then it said the location was at the pool and I was so confused. I don't know what the heck. So I wasn't able to get more tickets for like my husband, my son, like any of that
hmm.
because they were so crazy expensive. So we're going to continue to look. Apparently they're going to do more drops, over the next several months and whatever, but the very least, I am going to the 2028 Olympics to see.
It's exciting.
I know. And you know what? I'm not, but this is just like there was a lot of people complaining in regards to the you know how much like opening ceremony tickets were like $5,000 to $10,000.
That's insane. In this
And
economy,
yeah,
like,
exactly. And here's the thing. LA is not building I think this is the first time ever, it maybe not the first time or very few times, but LA is
mhm.
not building anything brand new for the Olympics.
Oh,
They're
wow.
using all existing uh venues,
Wait.
venues that are already existing. So like they're using the Coliseum, which is where the original opening closing ceremonies were in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still where USC Trojans play.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're using that, but they're using SoFi Stadium for like the opening ceremonies, right? They're using SoFi Stadium. They're using stadiums all across Southern California. We're gonna in San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium. We're gonna have some of the prelim soccer games, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Surfing is gonna be in South Orange County. So they're using venues that are already established and we already have, so they don't have. So I'm thinking if they weren't, how much would these tickets be? Like
Oh my God. It
if
would
they had
be
built new infrastructure, which they're not,
it
like
would be
how much would
insane.
these tickets be if they're already like this? I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
It's a lot. But it's interesting that they're using like the current active locations. But what is that gonna mean for traffic? That's already
Okay.
insane.
So here is the what they have proposed. And obviously, because I'm in Southern California, we've been hearing about this forever and ever. But
Mm-hmm.
they are saying that the 2028 Olympics are going to be like they're everything is going to be using public transportation. I
Okay.
don't know when that means currently, but it sounded like basically if you want to get anywhere, you have to use you have to use public transportation during those
Mm-hmm.
what 18 days or whatever. But I also think maybe like if you're trying to access any of the things you won't be able to by car. That's what I'm guessing. If you're trying to access any of the venues, you won't be able to access the venues by car. There's only going to be public transportation available. And so I don't know what those like how they're continuing building that infrastructure plan because obviously there has to be a plan. I will say a couple of years ago they were going to do this big project and they had told everybody in LA County like this like stretch of freeway is going to be completely shut down for the weekend everything and they were and it was fine. Like there was no cars on the freeway. Everybody figured out ways to get to where
Right.
they needed to go by and not using that stretch of freeway. And it actually wasn't even a huge issue on other freeways because I think everybody, I don't know if it was businesses accommodated, whatever, but there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a way that business will like, there will be accommodations in regards to that. So we'll see. I guess we'll just see what happens. And
Yeah.
I don't know if the formal plan has been released yet, but I'm sure as things continue to get closer, it's going to be released. But in 2 years,
Hope for the best.
I'll be there.
What do we have next?
So well, speaking,
Do you wanna
huh?
talk about what happened this weekend?
Uh, okay, go
I
ahead.
mean,
Go ahead and start it. I'm just like,
I like want to skip it, but I know we
I know we
can't.
can't. I know we can't.
I know we can't. Um,
You know
so
what? Let's
in
talk.
case,
Let's save that for last. Let's just save that for last because some
do we
people
want to
may
end on
no. Okay, let's talk
that?
about
Or do
it.
I mean, we can glaze over it. We can
Okay,
glaze
let's
over it.
glaze over.
This is
Let's
a
go ahead,
shooting.
Erica.
There's
I'm
a
gonna let you
shooting
take
at
the
the
lead on
White
it.
House Correspondents' dinner over the weekend. Um, honestly, I feel a little, not a little, I feel even more cynical and jaded than I
I
ever
think
have before because in my mind, it just doesn't make sense how someone waltzes into a
well, they never got in the
correspondent.
ball.
Well,
They
they didn't
never
get
get
into the
yeah, they
ballroom.
didn't get
That's
into the
right. They didn't get
ballroom.
in. But how do you even get in the building
Well,
where the
apparently the night
correspondence
before,
dinner is being held?
yeah, apparently the night before he
And
had booked a room. The
right.
fact that there was still even rooms available was it's crazy to me, but apparently he had booked a room the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I'm very cynical. My husband is very cynical as well. I mean, there has been um polls out where more than
Right.
half the people think it was fake.
Right.
And
Right.
if you it is, look, I, we obviously do not like this president.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't ever say that I did. I can't stand him. I don't want him to be shot. I don't want him. They'll turn him into a martyr. Like, no,
Right.
I don't
Right.
want him. I want him to have a massive stroke or heart attack.
I want him to
Natural
suffer.
causes, natural causes, right? But I will say, like, just the anytime somebody does this thing for, especially in particular this particular president,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes people who are on the fence go, oh well, see, he's, it, like, a lot of people think,
Right. Oh, he's being targeted. Oh my
yeah,
God.
well,
Yeah.
he's not the most targeted president. Hello, Obama was, but they didn't talk about it all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and and then just the fact that it just, there's a lot of odd things.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Well, I
never
mean, this,
attended the correspondence dinner, and
right.
this
He's
year he
never
just
attended.
decided to attend. He was talking, the court just ruled against him about his ballroom, saying you can't use security reasons as da 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 da. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
any security reasons. And days later, now he has security reasons and he's using it to try and fight to get this ballroom.
Right.
Then,
Well,
look, Caroline Levitt, I think this part was just a coincidence when she was saying, yeah, there's going to be shots fired today.
right. That was bizarre. That was
Yeah.
bizarre.
So there's just a lot of things that people like become cynical. And,
Mhm.
I still believe, not gonna lie, I still believe the assassination attempt prior when he was running for president. I'm sorry, you don't get shot and say you have a hole in your ear, and then the next day there's nothing there.
Oh my God.
Like,
That was, I'm sorry. That was totally fabricated. That was
yeah.
totally fabricated. Just the way that the Secret Service went to grab him, like it looked like amateur hour. It looked like a skit. Like there's no way that this short person that is coming up to save you and like put their jacket up and hide you from bullets flying. Like that's just no, no.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of people are cynical, a lot of people are doubting. I get it. I am one of those people. I'm not even gonna lie. I honestly don't really know what to believe because there has just been so much. But if this were, and apparently he had been writing letters, he had written a manifesto. So part
Right.
in that sense, I think that maybe yes, he
Mm-hmm.
didn't ever make it to the ballroom, but also I think that what if they knew and purposely
Well,
didn't do
that is what
anything
I'm thinking.
because,
That they knew and let it go up to where they could control it.
yeah,
Because again, how does someone just waltz into an area like he was armed? Like it wasn't like, oh, he had one or
he
two.
got on a
No,
train armed, he
he
got
had
like
100 million things with him. Like, how does that get
knives,
by?
guns.
I just
Yes,
don't buy it.
no,
I
I
just don't buy it.
agree.
And if he was able to get all of those things in and on him and to a certain point, then there's a bigger conversation to be had over the type of security that like who is running the
Okay, I
security,
was I
right?
was
Who's running the
literally,
show?
yes, I was literally seeing something on this recently in regards to saying like why, like, either the Secret Service hates him
Mm-hmm.
or he is so inept that he's choosing Secret Service officers himself that
Right,
are so inept that,
right.
because I've not, and I agree when somebody is like, I've not ever seen the Secret Service, so that just has seemed so unprepared
Yes, yeah.
ever.
It just does not seem like a prepared group because also if you see some of these videos, they are running around like grabbing someone here and here and it just seemed like a parody. Like
Well, okay.
I've seen movies better directed
Wait,
and
speaking of parody,
coordinated.
did you see that photo of Stephen Miller grabbing, like, using his wife, Katie Miller, who is pregnant, and she's freaking a horrible person as well. Like, they are trash. city. Like they are so horrible. They are just horrible. Stephen Miller is basically really the president. Like he's the one that's really running everything. Trump isn't
Mm-hmm.
running shit. Like he is not running shit. He's letting Stephen Miller be the puppet master and he's the puppet. Let's like be real. And people
Mm-hmm.
don't call that out enough because we all know that the orange guy has such a fragile ego that if people continue to say that Stephen Miller was the real one really running things, he would be so pissed off he would boot
Yeah,
Stephen Miller out. Like let's be
he'd be gone. He'd be
yeah.
gone.
Well, anyways, Stephen Miller was like basically using his wife. It looked like he was using her as a human shield. And as they're kind of quote unquote running out, he's like running with his hand like on her chi. It was the weirdest, it's like the oddest
I have to
photo.
see.
Yeah, he's behind her and he's holding her with their like this on his hand. And it also looks like he's like almost like instead of being in front of her to protect her, as
Right.
she's pregnant. No, she's in front of him. So if but there was no shooter in the ballroom, so think. And then you see pictures of people just sitting there eating their food
Yep.
still.
Yep. Yep.
Like then it
Yep.
was the most wild. And then in that photo with Stephen Miller, like
Mm-hmm.
holding his wife's Chichi in the background behind the curtain, you see Trump just standing there. There was no
Um,
Secret Service in front of him. Like I'm just like this was the most the
it's
photos that are
bizarre.
coming out
It's
are just
bizarre.
wild.
It's bizarre. I'm telling you again, I feel like I was watching a parody, like some Naked Gun kind of movie.
Yeah, Saturday
It
Night
just
Live would have done better. Like what the
it just did
heck?
not seem like a real, like legitimate thing. And honestly, all in all, like it makes me feel less safe than what like this is who's running like the security at the highest level because everyone there was high level, right? All the
Yeah.
top level people were there. So in a room full of that, like this is what oh yeah, that is
It looked like a
no, zero
circus. It looked like
confidence.
a circus.
Zero confidence. This is
Uh
making me feel worse. This is worse. Like, oh my gosh, like I feel like, oh, I just left the door wide open in my house. Oh well. Like,
yeah, no, you're right. The photos and videos coming out are just
zero
you
confidence.
double take.
Zero
You're like,
confidence.
what the heck? Like it's wild. Like you said, it's bizarre. This will be interesting how it's covered, how InfoWars is covering it now because
Right.
The Onion has won the auction for InfoWars. Now, if you don't know what InfoWars was the Jones platform. Now, if you don't know who Alex Jones is a horrible human being.
Seems to
And
be a recurring theme.
yeah, it's a recurring. So he is the one who said that Sandy Hook was a hoax.
Right.
When all of those children were gunned down and everything, um, he lost. He there. I think he lost 1.3 billion dollar judgment against Alex Jones for spreading lies that they faked the deaths of their children to boost support for gun control. I mean, really, this has been going on for years and years and years. He's a
Mm-hmm.
conspiracy theorist. He's obviously well, actually, he was a big Trump supporter, and we'll go into this as well. But uh The Onion, as we know, a parody, very famous
Right.
parody site, has won the auction to buy InfoWars. So we're gonna I'm we'll see how this rolls out and everything. Now Alex Jones can start another media company under a different name or whatever, but InfoWars was really big. I had not ever watched it. I'd seen clips every once in a while, but I couldn't ever watch them because I would just get disgusted of what was coming out of this man's
I
mouth.
never saw anything.
Oh, he's a yeller. How can you believe this? Like he's one of those
Mm-hmm.
types of guys. But as of late, he has turned on Trump. We've had Tucker Carlson who has turned on Trump, Candace Owens who has turned on Trump.
Eventually they all turn.
Megyn Kelly has turned on Trump. Well, here's the thing. I think, okay, and I've been hearing rumors of this through different things that I've watched or different things that I listen to, whatever. I think Tucker Carlson is trying to distance himself from Trump to make a run for president in 2028.
Oh,
Then he can say that he distanced himself from Trump. I don't
mm-hmm.
believe in this. I don't believe in that.
Right.
And he is a very popular media figure. But again, and I say this, and I've even told this to my husband because we have a little bit of disagreement on who we want to support for governor.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be the same, but we do definitely talk about it, right? And this is like, I don't, if you have never run for public office, you don't start at the top, right?
Right.
We're seeing what's happened with this fucking inept orange troll in the White House,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you've never held, like, you know what, Tucker, if you want to be fine, start with running for the House. Start for he wouldn't ever do his local council office because he thinks
Oh God,
good
no.
for that. But run for the House of Representatives, run for this, like, not to say that these
Mm-hmm.
are not big responsibility, but show that you have
Right.
some sort of aptitude, not just espousing opinion and not really knowing what
Right.
you're talking about and not
Well, I feel like going straight to the top is a red flag.
excuse me, here in California, that's what Tom Steyer is doing. And
That is
he
a
wait,
red flag right there. On in any form. Someone that wants to just skip and go right to the top, it's
yeah,
a bit
well,
of a
Tom
red flag.
Steyer did run for president, lost. Now he's running for the governor of California, but he did say on there was a debate and he straight out said on that. Now he can do whatever he wants when he's doing commercials. He makes that look good. But when he was debating with other people, he did not look good, right? He didn't have actual responses. And he straight out said, taxing billionaires like me is not going to help. Taxing me more isn't going to help anything. Okay, yeah, you just answered my question. No,
Yeah.
that's
Okay, well, it's
like
like
it was already a
taxing
no.
you more is not gonna help, but taxing me more is
Yeah.
okay.
So you can't tell me you're progressive because he says he's a progressive. You can't
Mm.
say you're progressive, but you don't want to be taxed more as a billionaire.
Right. Right.
Like that's no. So that's what I think what's going to happen with Tucker Carlson. I think that's what he's going to try and do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's as human beings, and I think with social media and with how the media has been lately,
Mm.
like these, and not, I think that we get so attached to these media figures that we think they know what they're talking about when they've never had
Right.
any experience. And you can say anything you want, right?
Mm.
Just like here, we can say whatever we want.
Right.
We try and make sure that it's when we are saying certain things that it's factual, and sometimes it's just our
Mm-hmm.
opinion,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, here's the
But
thing, like the
if you're running
more
for office, you can't just give your opinion.
right, you have to give the facts.
Yeah.
But it's something that I had just listened to. So I started watching the documentary on the cult of Nature Boy.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's on Hulu. Yeah, it's on Hulu. And I started watching that, and like one of the things that an ex cult member was like saying in one of the interviews is like the more people repeat certain things, like your brain is just wired to like recognize that and eventually accept it. So I feel like that's like going back to our conversation, that's what these people have been doing. They just say random stuff. And if you say it enough times and if you say it emphatically, people will stop kissing your husband, sending little kisses to your husband. I see you.
He was leaving for work. He didn't want to get on camera and give you a kiss. So he's like, yeah, we
But
love each other. It's
the
okay.
more people say things, like the more cemented it gets in our brain.
So that I used to work in advertising, right? I used to work in outdoor. And one of the things was is somebody needs to see something at least 15 times in order for it to start, for even for them to even notice it. Like when you're talking about
Right.
billboards or bus ads or anything like that, people need to see those at least 15
Mhm.
to 20 times for them to even notice it.
Right.
And when you say things, that's why, like, this is the one thing where I think the orange troll, he definitely understands this. He knows the more he says things, it's going to stick. So that's why he would continue
Hmm.
saying, like, Lion Ted, right? Lion Ted Cruz, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Joe. Like he would
Hmm.
say that over and over again because he
Right.
knows you say it and you can't just say it once or twice. You need to say it constantly, and people will
Right.
start identifying those things. They will start putting those
Hmm.
things together.
Hmm.
So when you see somebody in media, somebody like a Tucker Carlson or whatever, and him is spouting these things. Now, first of all, uh he was one of the people when on Fox News, the we have to make sure we bring these things back to reality. He was one of the personalities that said he is not a news person, he is a personality. When Fox
Hmm.
News lost a lawsuit in regards to the whole Dominion voting stuff, that's
Right.
why Tucker Carlson lost his show because he was
Hmm.
pushing this whole Dominion voting thing. And oh my God, girl, oh my gosh, there's so much, so much.
And I feel like we've gone off on a
We
tangent.
really, really have. Let's bring it back. Well, anyways, so yeah, we just that's kind of what I think is gonna happen just based on the things that I'm listening to and people I'm hearing.
Hmm.
That he is distancing himself because one, like MAGA is Trump, although a lot of MAGA people have been because of the war, because of prices. Not one person can do like there. I just got to stop because I'm gonna just go on to a whole nother direction. So but yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. And with that, we need, you know, I wish more people were speaking out. We've talked about this before. We've talked about the whole Nikki Jam thing. We've talked
Hmm.
about the
Hmm.
whole
Right.
Romeo Santos, and who was it?
Prince Royce.
Prince Royce thing. We've talked about
Hmm.
like we get to make our decisions with our dollars and with our vote.
Hmm.
And we need to be careful of of who we I think people have become in general.
Right.
Not that people have become lazy, but people have become so reliant on just surface level information
Hmm.
without really going to check the information
Right.
for themselves to see what a full context was, to see somebody's
Hmm.
voting record, to see, okay, they pulled that out. What was the whole context of that? Did they just pull out something to make it like
Right.
sound as bad as it actually sounds,
Right.
or was it part of a bigger conversation? Like we cannot let these things manipulate us. We need to be smarter because we are smarter, and we need
Hmm.
to be able, if you spend an hour on social media a day, you can spend 15 minutes researching a candidate.
Right. Well, even on social media, you can do researching because there are credible people
Yeah.
with platforms. It's just depending on who you're following and who you're getting your information.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's get off that, girl. Let's get to
Yes.
some happy stuff because Celia Cruz, azúcar.
Yes,
She is
yes,
a 2026 inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
yes, yes.
She is the first Spanish language artist, and that is
Yep.
so awesome that she is
Yeah.
because look, we all know how important she is to salsa.
Hmm.
We all
Hmm.
know how larger than life she was throughout her career and how she continues to be, right?
Right,
Um
right.
her influence, all of these things. I mean, so the fact that she not only is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she is the first Spanish language artist. I mean, oh my gosh, I think it is
Yeah.
amazing. And I wonder
Yeah,
who they're
it's
gonna have play
pretty
her
amazing.
music during the ceremony.
Mm, that'll be interesting. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see. Yeah, and then also in the I guess in the category that she's being honored, right, is
She's
for early influence.
performer, performer through early influence, but through
Yeah.
early, yeah.
So I mean, and that says a lot because she came to this country what in the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
and she had her career here.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very much valid.
Yeah. So here's also the thing, and this is what it says. This is from Me Too, and we love Me Too because their now jefa in charge has been a guest on the Wine and Chisme.
Hmm.
It says, let's see. Uh, it is the reason her induction means so much is not merely because we absolutely love her, nor is it because she is long overdue, though both are true. It's because it exposes with unusual clarity the strange math by which the hall has chosen to absorb Latin music into its history. That alone is historic, but also it is also revealing. Salsa, after all, is not rock in the narrow sense, excuse me.
Hmm.
Cruz enters not through the performer category. Okay, so it's not through the performer category, but through early influence. That is
Hmm.
the hall's designated space for artists whose music and performance style directly influence, inspired, and evolved rock and roll and other music that impact culture. In other words, the institution is finally acknowledging that the American popular music cannot be told honestly without her, yet it still places her at a slight angle to its core mythology. So, like, they are really showing that her music
Hmm.
has influenced what has come after her,
Yeah.
right? That has
Yeah.
come during her time and beyond and after her time. She is beyond her music has transcended and absorbed into rock and roll and other music styles.
Right.
So that's so exciting.
Exciting. It's
Azúcar.
exciting. And it's like such a deserving person. Like it's such a lovely woman, hardworking. She was very much about her business and
Absolutely.
the art, right? You hear stories about like her professionalism,
Yeah.
right, amongst all these men in this country. So it's exciting.
Yeah. No, awesome. And then it was, I think it's so exciting. It's such an exciting thing for, I'm not Cuban, but I am Latina and I did grab listening to her music. And I, there's you can't help but start moving and grooving and
Yeah.
uh just smiling when you hear her music. You can't. Like it's
Mhm.
just you can't not smile when you listen to her music and not start like,
Yep.
hey. So and then her smile, and then she wasn't, I wouldn't say, like, people who probably wouldn't call her a traditional beauty, right?
Hmm.
Um, but she was such a beautiful person.
Yeah.
And her wigs and her costumes and her
Yes.
just
Yes.
everything about her is
Everything.
just
Everything.
bigger than life itself. So, and then speaking of music, Billboard Mujeres Latinas de la Música
Yes.
has I can't talk.
It was last week in
Last
Miami.
week, yes, all of a sudden I'm like blah blah blah. My tongue got twisted. Apparently, tripped over myself. Was named to Becky G.
Yep.
She has been honored along with, hold on, my all of a
Is
sudden,
was it Rosalia, Becky
yeah,
G? Gloria Trevi, Ivy
Yeah.
Queen, Joy, Julieta Venegas, Lola Indigo, and
And
Young.
young Miko. So Becky G was the woman of the year. Or no,
She
Rosalia
was
was the woman
the
of the
yeah,
year.
Rosalia was Mujer del Año, and Becky G was
The global
Impact. Yeah,
impact.
Global Impact.
Then you had Gloria Trevi, who was the I can't, oh my gosh. Okay, let's just stop there. I'm gonna just and Becky G got global impact, and there's just a, really awesome. I feel like a lot of stuff has, how they say things come in your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Becky G started when she was really young, and she was trying to break into it was really through the English market where she started.
Right.
And it never broke through, but she is a first gen. Spanish is her first language, and she pivoted over to Spanish. And that's where she found her success, right? That's where she found. And I've seen people say, like, oh, well, she couldn't break in. I'm like, do you understand? Like, if it's not your time, it's not your time. And
Right.
you know what? I think that it was a blessing for her to break
Mm-hmm.
out in the Spanish market versus the English market, because I feel like not only could she express herself in her first language, right? And still relate to people because she's Mexican and first gen Mexican American and can speak in English. And she has this experience that, and this, and she's not Puerto Rican, not to like I don't see a lot of Mexican American artists break out in Spanish first and relate to that experience so much as being a first gen. I think her voice was needed, and I think that it was a blessing for her that she broke out in the Spanish market before English market. And
Mm-hmm.
although she doesn't have a lot of English songs, people here still relate to her so much, and she stands 10 toes down in what she believes in. So, um I think it was a blessing that she did. And congratulations to her for never giving up. I mean, I think she's just a testament to all of us in regards to, we might think we want this, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
there's a different path for us that we
Right.
didn't imagine that we
Right.
can succeed in, that will bring us back to maybe at what our original goal is,
Mm-hmm.
or make that goal even bigger, or may allow us to have even a bigger impact than what we ever thought. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Well, I
think
mean,
it's fitting for her.
I think that's also, and like I talk to like my nieces and my nephew about it all the time too. There's something incredibly wonderful about being bicultural and bilingual. Like it really does open up opportunities and avenues. Like you don't have to be so narrow-minded, stuck in one kind of lane. If it's not working out one way, then you can go another way. Like it just opens up so much more professionally
Yeah.
than we realize, or that maybe people want us to think the opposite when it really isn't.
Yeah. No, I think, I agree. I agree. We just sometimes we have blinders on
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, but sometimes when we have blinders on, we don't see the other opportunities or the other
Yeah.
avenues that may suit us
Yeah.
better to bring us back to our original goal. Or like I said,
Mm-hmm.
make a greater impact. So
Yep.
congratulations to Becky G. That's so awesome. I think she's so deserving of all her flowers now. And performing in spaces like Coachella, performing in other spaces. I've had the opportunity to see her. And I obviously knew who she was, and a lot of people knew who she was, but she, I feel like there was still a lot of people who don't, especially within the like Anglo, primarily English speaking audience.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know who she is. So she was at a concert here in San Diego at Petco Park, and it was like in the Gallagher Square area, and it was for the radio station. So I was able to go with my friend who is a morning host, and going there, I knew her songs and I was excited. And the people that knew her
Mm-hmm.
songs like were into it, but then there was, because it was a plethora of different types of artists, then there were some
Uh-huh.
people just standing there looking at her like, And I'm like, well, now you're exposed to this. This was a few years ago, and she's come
Hmm.
so much farther in the last few years.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just excited to see where she continues to grow and how she continues to evolve. I think it's really awesome for her.
Yep. Definitely. And then like
Well,
in general, just like that list of women being recognized,
yeah, I think,
like
and
women
they're
that
all
have been
women, all women.
in this industry
Well, it
for like
is Billboard
decades,
Mujeres Latinas.
right?
So
But it's just like women that have been like in the industry for decades, youngins coming up. Like it's just it's so nice to see that like full breadth of women in that industry.
absolutely. Well, we're wrapping it up. As we wrap it up, one last thing on a personal note.
Right, right.
My husband and I just celebrated 2 years of marriage.
Bam, bam, bam.
2 years. It's gone by so fast, but also feels like
It has.
but it also feels like we've been married way longer, but not in a bad way, just in
Mhm,
regards to, I think when you get married a little bit older, you don't,
mhm.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like we had that like newlywed phase truly. I mean, technically we were newlyweds, right?
Right, right.
But I don't know. We just feel so comfortable together, right? We just
Hmm.
fit so well together that um it didn't, I don't know how to explain it, but 2 years. That's crazy.
It,
Two
it's good.
years down, a lot
It went by
left to
fast.
go.
And
Yeah.
I'm not in the relationship. And I feel that it went by so fast.
It did. It really, really did. And now we just got approved for a home loan.
That is such a big step and like
Yes, we
so
just got to.
exciting.
So now, uh, we're starting to look at houses and everything. And I can't wait till I have an office. So this is not what you see anymore. You're not seeing my couch behind me and a door and part of my kitchen behind me anymore. That I'm going to have an actual office. And if I'm doing in person interviews, I can invite them into a real, like,
Hmm.
kind of studio
You'll
ish.
have your studio office.
Yeah, I have my studio office. So, I'm excited. I'm excited. Look, obviously, marriage is not perfect, but for what's for us, I really feel like since we did get married, we don't we bicker every once in a while, but it just feels for so like we definitely argued a lot more pre-marriage.
Hmm.
And I was talking to somebody else and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's how we were too." And I think when you're just trying to figure yourself out in a relationship, like I said, the first 6 months of us living together was the hardest part of our relationship because I'd never
Hmm.
lived with anybody. Like my mom and dad really did me in my head with you shouldn't live with somebody unless you were married. And then by the time I
Right.
got to my mid 30s, my parents were like, "Girl, you've grown." Especially when I was living in Texas, my dad was like, "I don't know what you're doing. You don't even live in the same state as us. You could be living with somebody now. What am I gonna know?" Like, which for a Mexican dad, that's like, I was shocked he
Crazy.
said that, but I think
Crazy.
he was just like, please just be with somebody.
Hmm.
I think that's where the root of that really was.
Probably. Probably. That was like a little nudge, like, you could be
Yeah.
living with someone.
Yeah. Well, it's so
Do
funny
you want to
when,
surprise us with something?
yeah, just let us know. No, actually, because Antonio did ask for my parents' blessing, not for their permission, but for their blessing.
Hmm.
And apparently, what my dad said was, when Antonio asked my dad for, and then he did ask my mom as
Hmm.
well, uh, that my dad responded with, "You know what you're getting into, right?" And Antonio's like,
Oh,
"Yeah." He's like, "All right, as long as you
as
know."
long as you know, you've been warned. Oh, parents.
Yeah, seriously, that's what your response is. But it's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's true. You know what you're getting into,
It's
right? And
like
then when he said stuff to me, I'm like, well, you knew what you were getting into.
you knew what you were signing up for. I'm telling you, like parents are like your number one defenders, and then your number one,
Haters.
not even
Ugh.
haters. It's like the first ones to throw you right under the train,
Oh yeah, not haters. Yeah, I wouldn't say haters.
right,
They
right
are
under
the
the
number
bus,
one to throw you under the bus. They are your
right?
number one
Yep,
critics too. Your number one
yep. Number one
supporters and your
critic.
number one critics. And
Mm-hmm,
they'll be like,
mm-hmm. First ones to throw you under the bus
yep,
because
for
that was
sure.
so unnecessary. You know what you're getting into, right?
Not not like my dad wasn't like, you know, did my dad wasn't like saying, "Oh, okay, well, what do you expect? Like, what do you nothing, right?" It was just you know what you're getting into.
He was like so concerned for Antonio. Like, where's
Yeah,
the
what's up with
concern for
that? What's
Jessica?
up with that? Rude, dad, rude. But, it's been a lovely 2 years. Like I said, nothing is ever perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Although we've been pre-approved for a house, we haven't officially started looking yet. We're just looking online.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary. I mean, that's a big purchase and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yes, it
scary to know. Yeah, yeah, as you know,
is.
it's scary to know that like this is yours and if something breaks, like the other day Antonio was like, "Are you sure?" I think he's he's definitely like feeling the pressure and so
Hmm.
I work part-time but I'm also starting to look for something else as well because I don't want him to feel
Hmm.
so much pressure in regards to the finances part.
Right.
And uh I think we do need to truly be in a partnership for that. And it's scary, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's one of
Exactly it.
Yeah, it's scary, but it's exciting. I think I don't know. We might have just something that's 2 bedrooms. We might have something that's 3 bedrooms. It's I think we're gonna start when we start looking, we'll see how the vibe is and
Hmm.
everything. But
The vibe is gonna be 3-2. 3-2.
3-2, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, there's the fact that we're able to do this, and we know that we live in an expensive area, and the fact that we're
Hmm.
able to do this here. And I saw something from Erika Cruz, and if you don't know who Erika Cruz is, go find her on Instagram and TikTok. She's a beautiful person. She's been on the podcast, and she's like a Latina empowerment coach, and she had posted something on social media about like where she thought she would be and she thought she would buy a house, right? And she's like in her mid 30s and
Hmm.
she thought she would be a homeowner by now and she thought this and she's doing these other things and I think she had posted herself like crying or something. And
Hmm.
I say this because I am 48 and this is going to be our first home, my first home ever purchased, right?
Hmm.
And I get that we all think that we're going to be in a certain place in our lives by a certain age.
Right.
I didn't imagine this would be my life, not to say in a good or bad way, but I
Hmm.
didn't imagine that I was
Right.
going to get
Right.
married at 46, that I um would never have my own biological children, that I wouldn't have a
Hmm.
house by now. I did imagine a different life. I don't know what that
Yeah.
life was, but it wasn't
It was different.
this. It was just different.
It was different. I agree because I felt the same thing too. And I was literally thinking about this like a week ago, where it's not that I'm like dissatisfied or like that I have a terrible life. It's just not the life that I had imagined, for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
But then again, I wouldn't change anything because then it's like the butterfly effect, right? If you change one thing,
Yes.
then it changes the rest of your life, the rest of your trajectory. And there have been so many wonderful, amazing things that have happened, so many amazing people that I have met, like yourself, that if one thing would have been different, this moment may have not happened. It may or may have not been happening.
Yeah.
One little thing that might have changed.
No, exactly.
Like the
Like,
movie Sliding Doors.
yeah, no, I agree because there's been so many times where um Antonio has said, "Oh, I wish I would have started in HVAC 20 years ago." And go,
Mm-hmm.
but if you would have started 20 years ago, we probably would have never met. Not because
Right.
we didn't meet in a bar or anything. We did meet online. We did meet through Bumble, in case anybody ever asked. We did meet through Bumble, but like because working that night, that service life is so different than the HVAC life, right? He
Right.
probably would have met somebody. He probably would have, like who
Mm-hmm.
knows where his life would have been had
Yep.
he gone into it 20 years ago. But I'm sure we probably would have never met.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right, like the butterfly effect. One thing
Yep.
happens, then it changes everything.
It changes
So
everything. If you would have stayed in Dallas,
if I would
what
have
would have
stayed in
happened?
Dallas, yeah, who knows what would have happened.
Totally
I
different life.
completely. And I think that I get that we can mourn what we thought we were going to have. And
Mm-hmm.
she even talks about it, but that's why you can't put time limits on what, because I wouldn't have, believe me, I wish I would have started this podcast 8 years ago, 10 years ago, instead of 6 years ago. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows how completely different it would be, right? Not maybe not the format, but like in regards to sponsorships, in regards to listeners, in regards to whatever, because that was still on the precipice of
Right.
what was happening
Right.
versus starting right before the pandemic. And although I started pre-pandemic, it was only by like a month. And then
Mm-hmm.
everybody else in the world started a podcast,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which made everything so much more difficult. Like I feel like it was a lot more difficult to discover wine and
Mm-hmm.
chisme at that,
Mm-hmm.
So share with your friends. But it's just one of those things where anything could change. And I love Erika for sharing that. Um, and I think that it's important to share those things. It's important to share those highs and lows. And right now we're on a high, but
Right now we're on a
also,
high.
yeah, we're on a high right now. We celebrated 2 years. We just got approved for a home loan, and those are two big things. And it's scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
exciting and scary at the same time. And now I'm like, okay, my husband has been extremely supportive in regards to what I'm doing with the podcast, in regards to me only working part time. But I've said it before and I'm going to be very honest. Like, I'm not making money off of the podcast. I know that me and you are working on it and there's going to be opportunities and everything, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not making money off of the podcast. I'm not trying to sell people, at least not right now. We got working on some stuff, but it's not like I come on here every day trying to hawk something, right?
Right.
I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling a product. Eventually we will have something that we will be, it will be more service based, but also event next year coming. Uh,
There's a lot going on that I'm
yeah,
so
we got
excited
stuff going
about.
on, but I'm really more than anything, I'm here for our community, right? To share these stories and to share inspiration and hope that somebody can feel seen by listening to what's going on, and to talk about wine and help people really experience these Latine-owned wine brands. It's such a huge
Mm-hmm.
part of what I'm doing. And it's all for our community. So I think that with all of that said, it's, anytime I see people talk about podcasts, it's always about how to use it to sell this and to sell that. But that's not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm trying to build
Right.
community before anything. And um so I have to step up. I have to step up. And although I won't be stepping away from the podcast, nothing about the podcast is going to change significantly, except that
Mm-hmm.
I might just have less time. I might have less turnaround time because I'm having to step up and help my husband and help our lives together in regards to this
Mhm.
new chapter of us looking at houses.
Yep. And on that note,
On that note, mi gente, thank you so, so much. We only have, let's see, we only have a couple more Chisme episodes before we end the season. So let us know. We're going to end at 300 episodes. So let us know what your favorite moments have been over whether you've listened to 5 episodes or all 300 or one. What have you liked? What have you not liked? Send me a DM on Instagram, which is the wine and chisme. Or if you want to call, you
we
can
want to hear
call
from you.
us. We want to hear from you. I know I have said it again and again, but I'm waiting. Like I've had so many people ask me, "Can you create a number?" And I said, "Let's do it. Let's create a number." And guess what? I have not heard from any of you fools. So I want to hear from you in regards to what your thoughts are. We started the season with with having a number so you guys can call. So that number is 858-304-0266. 858-304-0266. Send us a message, what you like, what you don't like, and you might hear your message on the podcast. So until next time, mi gente.
Bye.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine and Chisme podcast. If you would like to hear more wine and more chisme, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Saludos.